Almost a year ago, the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris got rededicated. This happened 5 years after the fire in 2019, where, if you remember, there was this picture of this burning spire which falls over into the main part of the church. And as it was happening, people felt sorrow. You know, it was sad to see this cathedral burn, and people had a sentimental attachment to it. But they didn't lose their faith. They didn't say, oh, God doesn't exist, or why have God abandoned us? No. They just kind of rolled up their sleeves, raised some money, and rebuilt it. It wasn't a big deal. On the other hand, in the gospel reading, we have Jesus, the people talking about the temple. Now, the temple was a big deal, at least to the Jews. This temple had been built on by the time of Jesus for 50 years, and it would go on for about another 30 more until it was finally completed. And it was completed in around 62 or 63 AD, and by 70, the Romans came in and wiped it all out. So all this 80 years of work, all wiped out. And that's what caused them all to really change. It was a crisis for the Jewish people, because they thought, this is where we worship. This is where we make pilgrimage to. This is where we offer sacrifice. This is where the Holy of Holies is. So what are we going to do now was one question. And the other question is, what was God doing? I mean, this is his house, this is his temple. Why didn't he send legions of angels to wipe out the Romans as they were trying and defend his temple? And yet we didn't have that. About last week, we celebrated the Feast of St. John Lateran, the first church that was dedicated by Catholics. And this was year 325, 324. And so for almost 300 years, the church didn't have a church. It didn't go around and say, Peter didn't get up on Pentecost and say, hey, I want you all to build a church. Instead, what he did was he preached Jesus Christ and him risen from the dead. And that's the difference. The difference is Jesus. That no matter what happens, even if the Cathedral of Notre Dame got wiped out, even if all of Vatican got wiped out, even if we closed down all this church and everything and for 50 miles around, we still have the faith. We still have it because of Jesus Christ. It's not tied to the building. And yet, there is that, since we're each part of the body of Christ, the question really is what is being built in our heart? I asked the question as I heard that the temple was built for almost 50 years, and I'm like, well, I'm 57, so what have I been building? And the first response is, am I building something towards money? Is that what the temple is of? Because that's what the prophet Malachi is criticizing the people. Because all they do is think about money, money, money. And that's where he says the day is coming when the Lord will set the evildoers on fire. And if it's not that, then maybe it's just my own self, my leisure, and what I want. That's what Paul was addressing in his second letter to Paul to the Thessalonians. People are unwilling to work. I'm just going to sit back and relax, make the life all about me, have a life of ease. So if it's not me, if it's not money, something else, so what is it? Is it truly Jesus Christ, who is the one that I put as a temple in the center of my life? And is it adorned with costly votive offerings? I mean, is it the offerings of my work? Is it the offerings of my prayers? Is it the offerings of acts of mercy? What am I doing to make the temple that is within myself to Jesus Christ adorned? And this process never stops. It goes on and on every day. The day I stop doing that is the day I stop worshiping Jesus and start worshiping myself. And if I work on that temple day after day, then when Jesus Christ comes, whether for my own life or at the end of time, I indeed will be ready, because I will have been working on that temple every day.